All right, everybody, we are live here on the Livewell Lunch Break podcast. Hope everybody's doing good. It is Tuesday, October the 28th, right in the middle of your work day. Hey, the weekend is starting to come into sight. I know we got a little bit, a little ways to go, but it's coming. It is coming. So hope you guys aren't working too hard right now. What's going on, Doug? I see you up there, buddy. Hope everything is doing well with you. Got some good things I think we're going to talk about today. Of course, you know how it works here. I got the best laid plans sometimes, and we just go off the reservation, right? That's just the way it rolls. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, I want to talk about some muddy water situations with all the rain, and we'll get into that. What you guys throw, also to your cold weather gear, What you guys like to do? What's up, Dana, Kurt, Cam, all you guys out there, and there'll be some joining us on TikTok here before long. Let me go ahead and take care of business. Of course, hey, listen, Toys for Tots, December 6th at Laurel Park, $5,000 guaranteed first place prize, $80 buy-in, 60 goes to the pot for places 2 on down, depending on the number of boats. 20 goes in the big fish pot. Also, too, if you have a Phoenix, there's Phoenix contingency money if you are a winner. And as well, every angler's got to bring one unwrapped toy, right? One unwrapped toy. And it's all for the Pickens and Hall County's Toys for Tots. That's what this is all about. Plus, again, it's for bragging rights, right? Lake Lanier bragging rights. And December is an awesome time on Lake Lanier to catch a big bag. Danny is getting pretty good on that board. I'm trying. I'm trying for sure. Trying to learn all this stuff. We got some great things coming and some changes that are going to be coming down the line. But yeah, guys, listen. Sign up for that Toys for Tots. It's going to be a good time. Also, too, if you're in the Blue Ridge area today, I say today, if you're in the Blue Ridge area on Saturday, come out to Blue Ridge Marina. We're going to have a Fishers of Hope benefit tournament for a young man named Matthew. I'm actually going to be fishing now with Tony Collum, the how-to hero. And so there's a challenge out there. Tim will be out there. Jonathan Farmer will be out there. Come fish against the podcast guys. See if you got what it takes. It's $100 buy-in. There's also raffle and hamburger plates afterwards. Everything's going to go help this young man. But again, another thing for bragging rights. Now, Tracy's got a wedding Saturday. We'll let you slide because you got a wedding. But if you ain't got nothing else to do, come join us. It'll be a good time. See what you can do. Lake Blue Ridge is a cool lake. And you never know. You might catch one of them mystical smallmouth bass out there. They're still there. But, that's 2 events that you guys can come join in with us, and it ought to be a good time. So definitely want to see you guys there. Now, I woke up this morning. What's up, Fred? I woke up this morning looking at the weather again. And it was still raining late last night. And I was seeing this weather about the what was it? Let's see, the hurricane down there, just like the monster hurricane that is going to be slamming into Jamaica. And so a lot of weather related things going through my mind. John G, it would be a long trip for you anyway, buddy. Good luck in your tournament. And we live on these highland reservoirs. We're talking about, we always talk about nice clear water and all that. But hey, occasionally we get some stained water. We get some muddy water from time to time. Going into Blue Ridge, it's going to rain again. I believe tomorrow we're going to have some more rain. And so there's going to be some stained pockets. Maybe on some of the lakes you fish, maybe down South Georgia, maybe it's a little bit dirtier. What's up, Jeff? But when we get these situations, you do make subtle changes, right? All of us make some changes in what we're throwing. We may throw the same thing. It might just be a color change. But I want to kind of talk to you guys today about, let's just say you're going into this weekend with all this rain. You haven't been on the water that you're fishing, right? You haven't had a chance to get on there, but history tells you this pocket here is going to be a little muddy. Think Toto Creek up there on Lanier. It always seems to get pretty stained come out of the Chestatee. And if you had a tournament up there Saturday, how would you change what your plan is? Or would you just continue? I know that when it comes to a lot of guys, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, talking about throwing spinner baits and things like that. Do you change your colors? Now, of course, I don't think FCP would. Wasn't that kind of crazy? Dana, I looked on my Facebook yesterday, and Spro put out a thing. and it had that picture, that all chartreuse spinnerbait, chartreuse body, chartreuse skirt, chartreuse blades. And I'm sitting there like, what's the odds? Because, I mean, listen, we are here sponsored by Spro. Maybe one of their guys was listening to the podcast the other night, Saturday night. You never know. It could be. But I just found it kind of interesting. I'm like, right there it is in all its glory. There it is. Just a straight up all chartreuse spinnerbait. I think I'm going to change my glasses right here. Put on these specs, a little clearer. They're not quite as dirty. You heard it here first. That's right, Dana. Dana said it first. Tracy says, in muddy water, I'd use a Colorado blade, black, and chartreuse spinnerbait. Interesting choice with the black. I get it. I understand it. Cam says he'd go with a dark chatterbait. Now, Fred says there's always dirty water on the coastal fisheries. I can believe that for sure. 100% I can believe that. You guys got that tannic water down there as well. Doc says 3 inches of rain in Athens and Sinclair being dropped 5 feet for dock work has ended my shell crackers for the year. Doc, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that. Dana, maybe I can set something up for you. I know you like Spro. Let me hit my contact for you. But I know a couple things like, the Colorado, the darker color on your spinnerbait, Tracy Coker. Patricia Leanne says blue and chrome rattle trap. Tyler says, I'm tying on a spinnerbait right now during my lunch break at work. Tyler, where you work at that you got your fishing stuff with you? I'm just curious on that. And I'm thinking of Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge is really clear, but, there is a river, and I don't think Blue Ridge is going to get stained up like some of these things. So it might be a moot point. But I bet you there's going to be some places somewhere around where you fish this weekend and going on in through November. November, we get rains all the time. Seems like every time I get a chance to go deer hunting, it's going to rain. Definitely going to rain in November. And so you get that cold, the water temps dropping, maybe on Allatoona and other lakes, the levels are dropping. Hell, Lanier's down right now. The combination of cooler water temps, dropping water, rain, stain, and everything. Seems like to me, and again, this is just me thinking this morning, that guys are going to have to make some adjustments. What's up, Kendra? How you doing, hon? Silverpunk says, Saturday, I'll be fishing a tournament on Oconee. Then the following Saturday, a tournament on Sinclair. That'll be interesting since it's 5 feet lower. Well, Silverpunk, let me ask you this. Given the weather this week, are you foreseeing having to make changes? And any of you guys? I got my boat in the parking lot at the metal shop right now. Okay, Tyler, I get it 100%. Now, Dana says, love Blue Ridge. Still some good smallies. There are some good smallmouth there. We'll probably catch some meanmouth, some of the hybrids. And it's going to be interesting to see which guys go up the river, which guys stay on the main lake, and how that plays out. What does the winter drawdown actually do, Messick? Well, let's just take it on Allatoona. Allatoona is a flood control lake. They do electricity too, but it's flood control. So they drain it down every winter for the spring rains. And if they drain it down and let's just say we get a big tropical storm come through at the right time, it doesn't take much to bring Allatoona back to a full pool. On the TVA lakes, I don't know, probably the same thing, I would say. Hogan said, went out yesterday, only caught one, and it was rough out there. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to have a hair jig on, Dana, for sure. I'm going to try it. But, that's why a lot of these lakes get drawn down. It's more for flood control. Now, if Tim Hancock shows up, Tim Hancock actually worked on some of the bridges over Lake Allatoona when it was being built or something like that. He can kind of shed some light on some of that. But, again, the TVA lakes like Notley, I don't know what they do. I know they draw Notley down. I don't know about Blue Ridge or any of the other ones. I'm not as familiar with their schedule, their drawdowns. Lake Lanier's is down. But that's kind of that's the reason on Allatoona. Now, Messick in South Carolina, do they drain or pull down any of the lakes there for the wintertime? I'm curious. Doc Holliday said Silverpunk is going to be stained if nothing else. And Silverpunk and I are fishing the same 2 championships. We've been practicing together too. I like that friendly rivalry. Now, Tyler says I'm putting a chartreuse trailer on my spinnerbait. But now, Tyler, are you going all out and doing the blades as well? Now, Cam says we definitely need this rain. Been fishing a little in Sweetwater Creek down from my house, and it was about dried up. Listen, my son lives off of Sardis, off Sardis Road, northern end of Lake Lanier, and I drove by the other day to help him work on his heating there. And as I was going down right below Chestatee High School, there's a little section that's way in the back pocket right there, and it basically is dried up. This basically has no water other than maybe a little creek channel right there, and that's on Lanier. So Lanier's down about 5 feet, I think some people are saying. I think that's what Dana said the other day. But it is really interesting on Lake Lanier just to drive anywhere, especially off Sardis Road, and see the lake down that much. We'll have to see what this rain does to it. Allatoona is over 6 foot down now. It's wild seeing all the structure. You didn't realize that was there. Cam, the more you fish Allatoona, the more you're going to understand that a lot of guys love to draw down in the wintertime for that purpose right there. Messick says, yes, every lake I know of gets drawn down. Interesting. Brock, I hope it's Kettleman. They pull Moultrie and Marion down every winter. Okay, interesting. Like Lanier doesn't get pulled down that I know of normally. Maybe if they do, but it's not like Allatoona. Allatoona, what goes down 12 to 15, 17 feet. But it does concentrate the fish, right? A lot of guys say that. Now, we do need the rain for the food plots, Jeff Brazil. For you hunters out there, 100% I agree with that. There is nothing worse than going out late August, early September. A lot of guys do the fall food plots right around there, right before bow season opens or right at the opening of bow season. And they get out there with their tractors and they do all this work and they put out all the seed. And then in typical Georgia fashion, it doesn't rain for 2 months. That's just the way it is. Now, I have a hunting club. I have a lease I've had for over 20-something years on the other side of Athens in Wilkes County. It's not it's pine trees. It's paper company land. It's not the best soil for food plots. We have a couple sections where we've had food plots every year. And some years you get the rain at the right time and they come up great. And other times it's garbage. It's all timing, right? The good Lord knows when the rain's coming. We don't. We just hope like hell we get with his will, right? And we time it right. Gold or matte black blades on a chatter and spinner baits with a mix of red, Fred Ashcraft says. So that's down on the coast, I would say, right? Interesting. Messick says Savannah River chain is down about 5 feet and Lake Fontana is down 60 foot for their winter drawdown. 60 foot. Good night. I don't think anybody on Allatoona needs to complain anymore. 60 feet is a major drawdown. That is crazy. Dana says they keep letting it all go downstream for sure. The Corps here in Missouri pulls our lakes down every year. So, right, winter's business like usual. So it's the same as what's been going on. Okay, I got what you're saying. And again, I'm not as familiar with lakes around the country as I am ours. So it is interesting, but 60 feet, man, that sounds just absolutely insane. With Dana says the more water, the better at Lanier. I agree with that. Your food plots were trying to get a little crispy. Listen, I wanted to get up and go hunting this morning. I had too much work to do around here, but I wanted to. They do a lot of lock and dam maintenance on Moultrie and work on the hydroelectric side of Marion. And again, yeah, so I mean, there's different reasons why they draw a lake down. But yeah, again, we don't have any locks on our lakes like that. So I get it. There's things that we don't think about on this side of the world. I remember when Lanier was down 25 feet. It's had its days. Now, Carson said, I've had the same bag of seed for 3 years that I haven't got to put out because every time I till the ground, it won't rain for a month, and then it's too late to plant. Well, listen, if shit hits the fan, you got some seed, right? Got cleared by the doctor yesterday to not wear the brace anymore. Didn't even ask about fishing. I'm going regardless, and you should, Coleman. It's all about that mental state. You want to be fishing so that you're mentally prepared for life, right? That's your release. That's what, I get it. And enjoy it because, marriage is coming for you. Jam Fam. West Point is under drawdown right now. How far down do they take West Point? And again, see, this is the way this goes. We were going to talk about muddy water and all that, but now we're talking about drawdowns, and that's why I love this show. I know Lanier more than any of them. And I know, like, over here at Latham, which is, I mean, seriously, I can walk out my door and it's 340 acres, and within 1 minute of walking, I'm at the boat ramp. Latham only gets drawn down when the Etowah River, this is what they told me, there is a gauge on the Etowah River in Canton. When the Etowah River, when that gets below a certain depth, then they will release water out of Latham, more so than what they, than normal. I've seen it down a couple of times in the 20 something years I've lived across it that I would say would be 5-6 foot, maybe, kind of down, but most of the time it never gets what I would say drawed down. I was blown away with Lake Fontana too. Even stopped and asked the locals what was going on. And a lot of people don't understand. And if you're on 20, what is it? I don't know if it's Little River or whatever that is. When you're going out towards Cartersville on 20 out of Canton, and you cross over that section of Allatoona, and I'm telling you, if you don't know if you don't know that they do this, you could go out there and it's got water and looks nice and pretty as it can be for Allatoona up the river, that part. And then you go 2 months later and it is just mud and one little creek right down the middle of it. And if you don't know what's going on, you can be like, what the hell happened? Did the dam break? Let's see it. TikTok. Okay, nobody's commenting on TikTok, so we're good. Up north, we had a dry summer. The Great Lakes are low, and I'm on the Bay of Quinte with a beach currently on my roof fixing my chimney. You know what, dude? I think it's absolutely fantastic that you and Kendra and some of you people, Steve Sturgeon, when he gets on here, and Billington, all you Northerners, hang out with us Southerners for a while. See, like we're bringing everybody together. And I'm telling you what, let me tell you what surprised me about Lake Michigan. Not only when I was up there, not only how clear it was, but that there's beaches on there. And you go into Glen Arbor, and there's actually sand, like beaches, like it looks like the ocean. Now it doesn't get the tide, but it kind of shocked me. We Southerners, we're kind of stuck down here. We don't really get to experience everything unless you travel a lot. And I had never experienced Michigan, but that was the one thing that I was like, it's actually kind of pretty up here, dude. And so, now granted, it's not Daytona Beach or Panama City Beach, but it's nice beaches up there. And that was something I really was kind of like, I did not even know that existed. Let's see. What's up, Alex? Tyler says, how has Allatoona been fishing? Going today to teach the brother-in-law how to scope. And again, Tyler's like everything else. I'm hearing guys that are doing very good, guys that are not doing so good. One thing I can say about Allatoona being pulled down, all that, you don't hear a lot of talk about turnover over there. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but you don't hear a lot of talk about it. Knox Bridge, that's what I'm talking about on 20 going out there. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I pass over that section every day going home from work. That's where the Etowah dumps in. Yeah. And you know what? When they draw it down, the Etowah is not that damn impressive right there. It's really muddy. All right. FCP's telling everybody, give us a thumb up. Give us a thumbs up. Go ahead. Let's go. Make sure you like it. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And again, hey, listen, I'm going to do this one time. I talk about the membership here every month, beginning of each month. If you are a paying member of the channel, a supporting member, supporting partner, you get an entry into the drawing. And Thursday night, we're going to give away this Spro JC Elite bait casting reel. Okay, I'm going to give it away. It's a hell of a reel. I got 4 of them. I love them. I love them. But yeah, give us a thumbs up. Now, Messick says, since we're talking about the drawdown, y'all take advantage of finding rock and shell beds. It'll help when the water comes up. And that is something that you should do. Even on Lanier, if you're not experienced, you can find some good structure, some road beds. When it gets way down, maybe not so much to where the racetrack on the northern end of the lake comes out of the water, but still, you can go if you do your homework. Jam fam, it's nice to find structure allowing vegetation to grow and cleaning up trash. Now, I will tell you this. It has been said more than once on this show at some point on the Livewell. Guys were talking about it. It was either 2008, 2012, sometime when Lanier was really down, way down. That allowed a lot of grass to start growing along the banks and stuff. A lot of vegetation. A lot of guys will tell you that's when the largemouth started making a comeback on Lanier that you see today. I cannot prove that. I'm only going by what people say. But that helped that year when the water came back up during the spawn. The fry had places to hide. And then that class of largemouth survived more than what would normally happen on Lake Lanier, right? And so that drawdown, that drought or whatever it was, that actually Mother Nature helped the largemouth bass. A lot of people have said that. I don't know it to be true, but a lot of people say that. Danny, do I have to be tuned in to win the reel? Thursday might be busy. No. What's going to happen is I put everybody's name in there. We will draw. If you're a member, we will draw. And then if you're one that watches all the time, the next time you're on, I'll just say, hey, or if I got your number, I say, hey, you won. Get an address, ship it to you. If not, we'll figure out a way. But you do not have to be here on Thursday. You should. Now, tonight's Livewell, guys, it's Halloween. And so the guys on tonight's Livewell want to dress up. I do not know what they're coming at. We're going to talk fishing. We're going to talk ghost stories too, close calls on the lake, on the water, spooky stuff if you want to get into that. It might turn into another one of these conspiracy theory shows. I don't know. We will try to talk fishing. But I know that Dave, Clint, Alex, I think Alex will be on, and myself. And I can't tell you what their costumes are going to be. And hell, I don't even know what mine's going to be. I got to go figure it out after the show. I know when I fished Lanier, the fish were on rock and brush and 15 foot or less. I know tuna is different, but I'm going to at least check that kind of stuff out, and you should. Wouldn't it make sense that if a fish is on rock at one point and they draw it down, they just go down with the water, they're gonna find the same thing that they're comfortable with? Now, it won't be long, and we'll be talking about ditch fishing. We'll be talking about that ditch fishing. That's going to be coming on a lot here lately. Tyler, it was dead for us below the marina by Clark's Creek, but got up on some around Red Top Mountain, long main lake points and flats. Dead rabbit. What are we all wanting to get triggered about today? Throw it out there, buddy. We were going to talk about muddy water and what to throw in muddy water, but right now we're talking about drawdowns. But you lay it out there, we can get triggered. We can do what else? Appreciate you, John G. John G is now a member. Thank you very much, sir. The largemouth never went anywhere, in my opinion. You just have to know where to find them. Now, see, Dana has that. Let me read this real quick, and we'll go in there. What platform do I need to be on to enter in for a chance to win the reel? YouTube. Go to FNGO on YouTube. That's where we do most of our stuff. We do it on TikTok just so to have a live and a presence out there. But if you get on YouTube right now, you can go become a member there, and that's what we will do. But Dana has been fishing Lanier for a long time, and he said they never went anywhere. And you know what? You might be 100% right. Alex will tell you if you win for sure. I am not going as the Lorax. I don't know. I thought about just doing it naked. I might do it, but I have to wear a bra. I'm a solid B cup. I feel like Clinton's going to be a pilgrim or something. Last year he was Billy Ray Cyrus. Is Lanier really haunted just because they flooded over the old city? No. Lake Lanier, appreciate you, buddy, on TikTok. T-dubs. Lake Lanier is not haunted. Lake Lanier, unfortunately, suffers from one thing. And the majority of that is people who do not live on the lake, who are not experienced on the lake, especially during the summertime, go out on a lake. They have a little too much to drink, not in every case, but a little too much to drink. They don't know how to operate their vehicles. Or you get a guy that's my age, that's 53, who when he was 18 could swim out to that island out there. And at 53 and a couple of daggum cervezas, whatever, he says, I can do it. And you get out there and you can't. That's the problem with Lanier. And actually, if you take, and Allatoona as well, if you take the amount of people that actually visit Lake Lanier and compare it to the percentage of people that actually, unfortunately, I don't know how I can say this on TikTok, become unalived on Lake Lanier, you will find that the percentage is staggeringly low. But the problem is the media has got in on this hype about the old town. You got to go back to the history of Forsyth County, which it does have an ugly history. I'm not ever going to deny that. It has an ugly history. But that town was gone, and all that happened 20, 30 years before they even started to build the lake. And there's just as many other things that are flooded under Lake Lanier as that little town. But it's not as good of a story, is it? It doesn't make a good TikTok to say, hey, people are just foolish when they get on Lake Lanier. It's not as cool. Now, you hear the story about the Lady of the Lake, and I'm sure that'll come up tonight and everything. But that's the reality of Lake Lanier. Now, There are some people that lose their life and they did nothing wrong. It was caused by somebody else doing something wrong. And unfortunately, they're a byproduct of it. I went to school with a man who lost two of his children in a boating accident on Lake Lanier. They were just out on a pontoon having a great time, and unfortunately, someone hit them. And so they did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? They did nothing wrong. And he lost two of his children. It happens. It does happen, and I hate it. And I've hated for that gentleman because he is, that is, trust me, it haunts him to this day. Terrible situation. But for the most part, it's inexperience and foolishness. That's what Lanier gets haunted with. Ain't nobody grabbing you by your ankles and pulling you under. No aliens, nothing like that. And there'll be people that disagree with me. But, the drought cycle is why O.H. Ivy in Texas has the big girls, Andy Miller says. I can see that. I could see that for sure. But I wish we had the big girls like O.H. Ivy did. Or does. Watching two freezer queens out the window right now, hoping the 14-point follows them out. Listen, I tell you what we do have. I have a deer over there on the Milton property I get to hunt that is the ugliest 6-pointer in the history of deer that has and he's a younger deer, I think. He looks young. He's got, 3 on one side, and the 3 on this other side come directly horizontal and go down. It is like I haven't seen him in person. I got him on camera, and I'm like, that is a face only a mother could love. But I do know that on that property, they've killed 2 over the last 2 years. They've killed a couple of 140s off of it. And I keep telling my son he's going to show up here in about a week or 2. He'll be there. We just got to be there, right? Dead Rabbit, I'm triggered about all the young bucks using scope to spotlight fish. Tyler says, I knew that was coming up. Dead Rabbit says, me too. What's up, Adam? Stripper isn't off the table. I might do that. Pasties, Danny. Drunk boaters, for sure. John G says, I support you, Danny, and all you do. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be yet, but I will be something. Jeff goes, I step away for 2 minutes and I come back and y'all are talking about wearing bras. Now, Jeff, have you not gotten used to this show by now? I mean, if there's ever been a show that the word squirrel comes to mind, it's this one. You know how we are. Now, Dana says, let them think it's haunted. Keep some of them away. But listen, I tell you what, like, if we do have an accident on Lanier and you go on Facebook and you go to the Fox 5 page or the, WSB, and they'll say drown, and then just read the comments. And I read the comments, and all I can think of is like, damn, these people vote. That's all I got to say is they vote. No wonder. We should do a Fish North Georgia watch party of that movie they made about Lanier being haunted. Somebody should just fund me, and we'll do a show saying it's not. We'll do one. I think you should have. Okay, here you go. This is interesting, and I agree with it. I think you should have to do a boater's education to rent a boat. Some people don't know how to be a give boat on Lake Greenwood. And I think you're talking about like whether to turn and turn off. You're probably like how the rules of the road, so to speak, for sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, jet skis too. Let's just don't talk about the boats, just jet skis in general. That a lot of younger people that are not used to being on a jet ski get on a jet ski, and next thing you know, they're going 60 miles an hour down a lake. And they don't know the rules of the road. And again, I'm not saying they don't have a right to be there. They got as much right to be there as we do to be on the lake fishing. The problem is, and I can't say this, there are some bad boaters as well that fish. So, it kind of goes across everything, but there's a lot of inexperienced people during the summertime on there. For sure. I think every boat on any lake should have a graph with good mapping. That way they can safely avoid the unseen dangers under the surface. I agree with you. Only thing I would say about that is we got to make sure that they don't decide to just drive by the graph, right? Because a lot of people still kind of believe that incident over in Alabama had something to do with that as well. Don't know that to be true. That's hearsay. But, people say that a lot of people decide they're going to fly through, especially at night, at night. They can go as fast as they want to at night because the graph says, hey, they're in the lane, but they don't bother to look up or can't see a boat coming at them, right? So one thing I can say about Jonathan Farmer when I fish with him at night, he's careful, as you should be. Haunted by jet skis and wake boats for sure. Lanier has whipped your granddad, your dad, and waiting to whip the future generation. Hey, listen, it is. Absolutely it has. Summertime drunks are problems on all water. Rescue boats out many times this year on the river. One guy let his trailer and truck go down the ramp, sunk it by putting a boat in. The boat floated. I guess it was a successful launch. What's up, Gone Fish? Well, Dad, yeah, no, right? You know, sometimes the boat ramp is some good people watching, right? It's good people watching, especially at the beginning of the summer. Like I said, you've heard me talk about the guy that was fussing about his wife because all she did was back the trailer down. And he bought a boat too big and he didn't know what he was doing. He couldn't get it on there. So he decided to take it out on his wife. And we're sitting there like, dude, just pull the boat up. She can't turn the trailer once it's back down in the water. It's your responsibility to get that boat lined up. He couldn't do it. He's screaming, pull up, pull up. And she pulls up. She backs it back down. She's not doing anything wrong. And his dumb ass just couldn't do it. I've seen too many boats riding too close to shallow areas that they shouldn't be in. And that is something, not knowing the lake. Again, another thing that inexperienced people have no idea. Had an 8-pointer wide frame almost run out in front of my truck this morning. Hey, listen, you should do it. You should be Cousin Eddie in a leisure suit. No, Coleman, when you said freezer queen, I thought of a large woman who enjoys ice cream. Now, Tyler, now we have some females watching the show. You shouldn't say that, and I shouldn't read that. Those people do vote and they do breed for sure. Half of my family is that. Does anyone know if there's a way to link a Helix 5 to a Helix 7 to share waypoints and other info across the units? Cam wants to know. You guys out there that got Cam looking to add NMEA cable for your Humminbird units. Start there. On Saturday, I got flipped by a boater, lost some gear, but still living is what matters. Bottom line outdoors, I'm sorry. Where was that at? Where was that at, buddy? FCP Fish and Brooks and I saw a jet ski towing a wake boat and then saw it on Facebook 2 days later. Let's see, try to catch up on some of these comments. Distracted driving is terrible for sure. All right, we seem like okay. Any NEMA cable and turn on data sharing both devices. Turn on your data sharing on both devices. Put that cable there. We should have Williams. Is that your real name, William Williams? Just out of curiosity. Interesting. Nothing wrong with that. Just same name twice. We should have license for bass boats, wake, jet ski, like we do for different kinds of vehicles to help prevent this stuff. That would go a long way. Summertime on Pickwick and Smith Lake in Alabama is absolutely terrible. I won't even go to Smith on the weekend in the summer. Lake Lanier gets the same way. All tournaments go at night on Lake Lanier, pretty much. They still do some. But the guys that get out, if you get out there and fish a tournament on Lake Lanier during the summertime, you're going home with a sore back. Kendra says, we're living through you when it gets cold as hell. Yeah, well, yeah, and we're living through you guys when you get the snow, and we don't ever get snow down here. And we Southerners like the snow every once in a while. I like to sit here. I like to hunt in the snow. Don't get to that doesn't happen too often. Heading to Bass Pro Shop and just past the store called the Yum Yum Snack Shop. Good Lord, Messick. The graph definitely helps when driving at night, but it's not going to tell you where other boats are, especially kayaks with no lights. I used to use it to stay in the channel during the drawdown for sure. Now, Dana, I watched your video yesterday. I'll get with you in a second, Ed. I fed a couple of good bucks this morning along with a couple dozen does. Dana kills me because he posts those things on Facebook, and he's got all these deer in his backyard on Lake Lanier, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, that's some barbecue right there. How's Latham fishing lately? Do the same things you've been doing. I mean, honestly, the people that have been talking about it to me lately have been throwing big glide baits over there, if I want to be honest with you. I mean, you could go there with the Kitech. You could do all this stuff. I don't know if you got scope. You could do all the stuff you normally do. But the guys that I've been talking to have been going to Hickory Log and Latham throwing big glide baits. Bass boats are going to end up killing a kayak angler soon. And yeah, I mean, it could be. Coleman, celebrating my 3-year anniversary today. Hope she likes the shipment I'm receiving from Tackle Warehouse. I do too, dude. I'm praying for you. Also, too. So listen, guy. I also want to ask you too. She'll forgive you. There are worse things. Barbecue deer. That's a new one for me. I just no. Listen, I don't barbecue deer, but like my dad had a feeder out here when he was alive. He lived beside me, and there was some deer out there, and we're looking at it. He goes, I just don't know how you can hunt those things. Those things are so peaceful. I like watching them. And I said, well, Dad, yeah, they're cool. I see barbecue when I'm watching them. And he just laughed. That's just difference of opinion. I want to know too, with the cold coming in, or gonna be here, the rain and everything, what kind of cold weather gear do you guys use? Okay, what kind of cold weather gear do you guys use? And normally, I'll be honest with you, I've never actually owned some true cold weather gear till this year. Now I got one part of it on, and I got the heat turned off to my house so I can wear it, dude. It's like so killer. But I got the Wicked Weather Gear from Spro this year. I've never owned a high quality, wintertime weatherproof, rainproof gear. I'm going to actually take it with me to Blue Ridge because I know Blast Off's going to be a little cool on Blue Ridge. But what do you guys normally use? Now I like this. Again, I've got the parka and I've got the bibs, and I got the insulated. I got the heavy duty one. And I tell you, and I haven't got to wear it out yet, but I'm looking forward to actually wearing it. Now let's see what you guys got going on here too, and I'll show you mine in a second. When it's cold, I prioritize dry over warm, but I like my Drake insulated jacket and bibs. I wear First Light hunting bibs and a First Light jacket, some Redhead wool lined thermals. Steve Billington, you said love it. What are you loving it? What part are you loving? Are you talking about the? Okay, I see it now. I have a Norfin float suit and a 3M diving socks. Dana says Aftco, although it's expensive. Milwaukee heated vest, Drake gear doubles. Listen, like the Spro I got for two reasons. Number one, because it's camouflage. All right. I can wear it hunting. Let me pull out, let's see. I mean, you can see the bibs. They're your standard bibs. Nothing standard about them. They're really great. But I got the parka, same camo pattern, fleece lined on the inside. It has all these cool little features, especially in the arms to keep you dry. But what I like about it is, like, let's seriously, it doesn't have to be. I don't have to be fishing to wear this. I'm gonna wear it hunting this year. It's gonna keep me warm. It's got the hood, and it's totally waterproof. It's like 3 layers of stuff, and you can get it at spro.com. You gotta check it out. But like, I think if you get a nice parka, which I love parkas, you can wear them out on the town, right? People gonna know you're a country boy or something like that. But this thing, to me, when I'm on a boat, it's gonna keep me dry. It's gonna keep me warm. But I can use it in a lot of different applications. And I think that's when you're buying things, especially the way the economy is these days and all that, if you're going to make an investment, it should be multi-use, right? And a lot of you guys are talking about, I said, the Drake stuff, doubles for fishing and duck hunting, Fred said. William Williams, stuffed tenderloins. I love tenderloins. Walls blizzard proof is good stuff for the price. Insulated Dickies. Jumpsuit and heavy duty Carhartt jacket, nothing fancy, but I stay warm. Captain Morgan says, layers, layers, layers. I hate bulky clothing. And that is honestly what I have always done, Captain J. But I get as much bulk going. I am a layer guy for sure. But I never had anything that was good and waterproof and windproof. And so that's why this year I got these. And again, like I said, it's wicked weather. And you can get the lights or the insulated. I got the insulated because I wanted it for the wintertime. But I absolutely love it. And I've been wearing it around the house. And my wife's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm wearing it. How much was the set? I don't really know. Luckily, I'm sponsored. So I didn't buy it. I think you're gonna be looking roughly $400 in that area. It's worth it. Sometimes you got to spend the money for something, and again, you don't have to. There are cheaper options out there. I just wanted some top of the line stuff, and so I was able to get that in my deal a little bit. Insulated Dickies jumpsuit. I read that. Let's see. I'm getting Aftco barricade rain suit shortly. That's a good one. Now, this is a good one. War Eagle. I use Simms Pro Guide bibs and Parker. I only use Sim product as my fishing outfit all season. For sure. I wear 30-pound Carhartt bibs. I got some Carhartt bibs. They're good. I know one thing. Don't expect the NRS. What does he say right here? Country boots to keep your feet warm or dry. You don't like those? Kayak boot equals NRS. I got what you're saying. Hardest thing to find is good gloves or mittens for fishing in cold weather. Now, that's one thing I can't do. I can't wear gloves. I've tried fishing in gloves. Even the trout guys use the trout, for guys use the thin ones just to keep the sun off their skin. I just do not like the feeling of gloves. But I'm going to have this on because I know Saturday morning on Blue Ridge, it's going to be nice and chilly. And I'm going to be fishing with Tony. Tony's going to send it. And so the worst thing in the world for me is starting off a morning after that first boat ride and you get to your first place and you're just, you know what I'm saying? You guys have experienced that before. You know the cold I'm talking about. And even if it's sunny, whatever, that wind. So that's why I went with this. I definitely was thinking more on the wind side and the warmth. But I did get them a couple sizes a little big so that I could put some stuff underneath it. Should I have the need for that? But I get that when it comes to the gloves for sure. I just can't wear them. Charlie Adams wear a helmet. That's true too. A lot. You must say, listen, this is no lie. No lie. What's up, Charlie? How you doing, buddy? I didn't really fish bass tournaments growing up, right? And the first bass tournament I ever fished was in the winter. It was on Lake Lanier, and a friend of mine said, "Hey, you want to go fish a bass tournament with me?" Again, remember, I'm a farm pond river kind of guy. I said, "Sure, I'll go fish it." And we show up, and it was January or February, and I remember seeing a couple guys at the blast off, and they had on motorcycle helmets. Now, it didn't dawn on me that at the time, because I was inexperienced, that the reason they had it on was for the cold, right? I'm just sitting there making mental notes going, ain't no way I'm riding in the boat with that guy ever. He's got to wear a motor. I mean, I thought it was for safety. I'm not lying. I'm like, all right, check that guy off. I ain't never getting in the boat with him. I ain't never getting in the boat with him. Charlie, now listen, guys, you hear me talking about the Toys for Tots Center? This man right here is the defending champion. He won last year. Not only did he win the tournament, he won Big Fish as well. And I believe, Charlie, if I'm not mistaken, you and your partner went away with over 7,000. Am I correct in that? Big fish and everything? You had a hell of a day. And the cool thing about Charlie was he weighed in early. So then he had to sit in the hot seat and he waited and waited and waited. And people were coming in and just ounces. Because remember, guys, you've heard me talk about it. Last year, that Toys for Tots tournament, 1 through 30, something like that, was only a couple pounds. And I mean, watching his face the entire time. But you know what? I was as happy as anybody to see Charlie win because he's a good dude. He's just a good dude like the rest of us. Hands, feet, head, keep those warm and you're good. You know what? Let me tell you something. I can have cold hands. I can have a cold head. Hell, I can have a cold everything. If my toes get cold, I'm shot. I'm shot. And that goes in deer hunting and anything. And you know what happens to my body for some reason? I don't know why the good Lord made me the way he did. But if my toes get cold, I have to pee. And that's just like all of a sudden, it's like my toes are connected to my bladder for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. I could freeze everything. It doesn't matter. If my toes are warm, I'm good. If my toes get cold, dude, it's the worst day in the world. There's nothing like getting up a deer stand and my toes getting cold and like, oh, dude, I got to pee. I don't know what it is about me. Specially made, right? The Lord formed all of us in their womb, specially. We're all one of a kind. What gets me is when my thumb goes numb and it'll be the only thing cold. Well, I'll tell you this too. Now, I did heating and air for 25 years. Okay. I worked on sheet metal back when they actually put sheet metal pipe in houses before all this flex crap came out. And so I was always using hand tools, right? I probably got carpal tunnel or whatever. I never did anything with it. But I will tell you this, that if I drive or if I'm fishing, if you watch me about every 20, 30 minutes, I have to stop for about 3 or 4 minutes because my hands get numb. They just go numb. I don't know why. It has to be that. Steven says, I'm joining late. What are you wearing? Wicked Weather the parka from Spro. You can go to spro.com and check it out. Our deer, good Lord, this is bougie. Our deer stands have sliding glass windows and heaters unless you're bow hunting. That's wrong. You can't fuss about scopers or anything like that if you hunt with a heater. I'm calling bullshit on that. Now, on the plus side is if you ever want to invite me hunting and you got a heater in there, I'll hunt with you. For sure. Kendra said she would die if you guys showed up in pasties. You probably would, and so my family would die of embarrassment. So I probably won't do that. But you never know. You never know. It would be ugly. I can tell you that for sure. It would be ugly. John G says, I fished till dark last night. My hands were the first thing to get cold, well, besides my tail, because I split my britches getting into the kayak. That is something that happens to us as we get older, right? For sure. Cam says, I'm wearing my motorcycle gear all winter for sure. Tyler, I don't want to get a motorcycle helmet, but I'm definitely going to get some shooting glasses. Doug says, I have the Norfin float, best suit, best money I've ever spent. Don't get cold, period. Here's Charlie. Okay, Charlie goes, he won the $5,000 first place prize. He won $1,940 for big fish, and he won by 0.2 ounces. Try to tell you guys, it was close. Lake Lanier shows out. And guys, again, we've talked about it on the show. Charlie caught big fish, and how he caught it was, I ain't gonna tell you where he was at, but he was throwing on the back of a dock, and you know the cables. He threw over the cable with an underspin, was reeling it up, popped it over that cable, and the second it hit the water, boom, big girl was there. I think that's just, if that happens to you, it's your day. It's your day. Cold toes is game over for sure. Yeah, my right foot will turn into an ice block. I remember you broadcasting from the tournament last year. We froze our ass off. I'll be fishing it this year. We're not going to be broadcasting it because of, with what's going on with the company and everything. We're going to take part in it. And again, smack talk, just like if you're in Blue Ridge this weekend. This weekend, if you show up at Blue Ridge, you got to beat me and Tony. If you show up to the Toys for Tots, you got to beat me and Tim. Don't let us get a bigger weight than you, because we will talk. We will talk. My dad cut a cast off because he couldn't use the metal snips in the shop for an HVAC company he worked for. Same thing. I did that. I actually was going on a Sunday playing beer league softball, dove for a ball, caught it. But as I dove forward, the tip of my glove caught it. It folded my wrist all the way back, broke my wrist. They put it in the cast. I tried to go to work, and I said, this ain't working. Craftmaster. Reaper hoodie under high quality rain suit with layers is the juice. There you go. Dead rabbit. You should see the duck blinds and goose pits. I've never been duck hunting. Never been duck hunting. I'm saying I would probably like it, but I've never been duck hunting. Kendra says, 8 years as a co-angler, I can say with confidence there are many, many unsafe boaters in the fishing industry. I could have been killed once, long story. Again, I've been in a boat with a couple of guys for sure that I will just say were a little bit scary. And that I didn't have the confidence in being in the boat with them, had never ridden with them before, but it didn't take me long to go like, Lord, just get me home. That has happened more than once. Now, you get in a boat with Ryan Sheffield. I've been in a boat with him. Trust him. I trust Ryan Sheffield in the boat all day long. Jonathan Farmer all day long. Been in the boat with several guys. Very comfortable with them. There's a couple of them out there that, and I remember getting in one, and sometimes it's the boat, right? I got in that nitro my buddy had the first time, and it was the Turkey Bowl. It was windy on Lake Lanier. Way too windy to be on Lake Lanier and too cold that day. But that nitro set so high, I wasn't used to how high it set. And that kind of scared me the entire time. Just the boat. It wasn't the guy driving it was just the boat. Sit down, shut up, and hold on. That's what I do. John G likes how his name is highlighted right there. You like that for sure? You ain't arrived. You've been arrived for a long time. But I tell you, the cold weather gear is going to start. And a lot of guys, I mean, even in the summertime, you guys know you have a t-shirt on, you've been fishing all afternoon, you get sweaty and all that. Sun goes down, and then you start making those little treks across the water. Even in the summertime, it starts getting a little cool, right? get a big thunderstorm, get really wet and have to take off. Rain gear is a must. Tyler says, "What's up, Peg Leg over there?" Also, just went from using Active Target 1 to Garmin LVS 34 Plus, and it's night and day better than the Lowrance. Now, it's interesting. Good afternoon to you too, buddy. It's interesting when guys make the change from one thing to another, or go from one company to another company, and it's in everything, right? It's in fishing reels, fishing rods, electronics, you name it, and what they go to is a lot better. But then you have the same guy. This is just something that I've noticed. You have the same guy that says, like, he uses the Garmin right now, but he went to the Active Target 2 or what, something like that, and he loves it. Or a guy fished NRXs, and now he goes to this company, and it's always interesting to see how guys make it. And I'm not saying that you're not night and day better. You probably 100% are. 100% are. But it's interesting because you see that across all products, right? Now, I do believe that a lot of people, and the ones that I've seen, I like the Garmin. Okay. Fred Ashcraft, what is a good brand for rain gear? They all say they're the best. Well, the best I've ever owned is what I got, but I haven't had it in the rain yet. I only rain gear I ever had was from Academy, and it worked. And I will tell you this: I do have a pair of gray Academy brand bibs that are really thin, that are gray. I actually take them out and I will bow hunt with them because I'm up in an oak tree, and my top will be camouflage, but that gray I'll leave solid. Or even if I sit on the ground and I'm hunting on the ground, I will actually wear those because I'm right next to trees. I'll hunt at them. They're multi-use. I love them. But we'll see. I'm this wicked weather. I can tell you this: the way it's made is awesome. I'll find out how good it is Saturday, for sure. I can imagine Poche might shake your confidence. Yeah, there's some of them out there that I ain't getting in the boat with. The 34 is clutch. I'll send you my setting as a base point if you want. I love it. Big Bait John, sorry I'm late. Was at Buka's shop. Oh, I tell you what, wife's mad. So that means John just spent some money at Buka's. Hey, listen though, Mike Buka's a cool dude. I have a good relationship with him. But the brand, the biggest thing is whatever you can afford, get the best that you can afford. But sometimes, hey, listen, sometimes it ain't all about the price tag, right? It ain't all about the price tag. Garmin is way better. I love my Garmin. I have the LVS 34, but I've heard that the A2 is legit for many guys. No plans to switch though. Jeff Brazil said, I got a Striker rain suit. So far, it's been great. And listen, as long as it keeps you dry. I saw a guy, this is no lie. I'm not going to lie. This is no lie. Fishing a tournament on Latham in the middle of summer, right? And it started raining. This has been back, we're talking 10 plus something years ago. And a guy was fishing solo, and we come around and it was raining. And I look up and it's just a black blob. And he took a trash bag, a big 55-gallon trash bag, cut the head out, cut a hole in it, and 2 arms. And basically, he was using the trash bag as a poncho. Fished the entire tournament with a trash bag on. Sometimes you do what you got to do. There's a rating for rain gear as to how long it's supposed to keep you dry. It's been a while, but you can look it up. Not all rain gear is rated for prolonged rain exposure. Andy, where can we look that up? Where can we look that up? That would be interesting to find out. John says, I need to find some first-hand rain gear. Can't afford a new set. Secondhand, I meant. What size are you? Maybe somebody out here's got one. What size you wear? Somebody might have something they can give you, John. We're all family here. Throw it out. What size does John wear? I've seen him use the Garmin a little on someone else's boat. I got the new Mega 2 Live, and it's awesome. See, that's the thing, too. Everybody hated the original Mega Live. I had it. I could never get the damn thing to work right. I sold it. I had the 360, the Mega Live, all on an electric rig. I could never get the Mega Live to do what I wanted it to do, and I just sold it to another guy, and I used the 360. But when they came out with the Mega Live 2, everybody was telling me like it's top notch. Now, here's the thing, too. And Charlie Adams, I thought about this. I got a can myself right here. A can of Scotch Guard can turn anything into an option rain gear. Like They make the stuff that, and sometimes when I have some rain gear that gets a little pinhole or a leak, I'll spray the daylights out of it. I've even put duct tape on the inside and sprayed that Scotch Guard stuff up. That there's something that they make, you can put on boots. It's not true Scotch Guard like the that you iron with, but it's something very similar. All right, guys, listen. John G. He's got a 33-inch waist because apparently he doesn't eat. He's 6'1". He doesn't know what size that is, but if you have an old rain suit that you are no longer using or something that could be of help to John G, let's set the guy up. Let's help him out. That's what we do here, right? 33-inch waist though. Geez, dude, eat something. I think I was like a 33-inch waist in high school. Been a long time ago. My papa will put a trash bag on our seats for sure. Now here's Hancock. He finally shows up very late to the party. Just came out of oral surgery and found out that they have to operate on my knee again. My ear is shot. All right, Tim. Okay, I'm sure there's a legitimate explanation for this, but I got a question. How the hell you go to oral surgery and find out you got to get your knee operated on? Is this like a one-stop shop surgery place? You know what I'm saying? You can get something, a little something in the back, whatever. I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you. But yeah, you guys listen. Hey, also too, if you got that rain suit, if you will message me, you can message John direct on Facebook. But if you want to message me, you're in the North Georgia area, I'll pay to ship it. I'll come get it and I'll pay to ship it down there to him. Mike says, I like my Mega Live. It does take some work, but it can be made to work good. And that's probably, again, it was probably a lot of operator error on my part. War Eagle the best. I heard from some guys that the Lowrance AT2 with the newest software update is on par with Garmin, and I have heard that too. Oh, you found out about the knee yesterday. I'm sorry about that. John G, I'm sorry I can't help you, sir. Would you say, Jeff, you're a little on the thicker side like I am? Is that what you're saying? But maybe, John G, we can figure something out. In fact, I may know somebody has one. But if you got something like that, anytime you guys got old stuff like that, don't take it to a Goodwill or something like that. Now, if you can sell it on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, sell it. But there's always a guy in our community that could use something, right? There's always somebody around that could use, I know at one time I had a Helix 7 on our electric rig, and I had it on the back of the boat. I had two Helix 9s on the front, and I had it on the back for a co-angler or whatever. But I knew a guy that didn't have any graph whatsoever, and we really didn't utilize that Helix 7. He said, I'd love to have one. And I said, okay, well, here. And I just gave it to him. Now, it was a few years old. It wasn't no big deal. We didn't use it hardly, but it made the world a difference to that guy. Sometimes, and again, I'm not tooting my horn. We didn't use it. Here, maybe you can put it to use. If you got some stuff like that, don't just throw it away. Jeff Brazil says, I'm 6'2", 250. Anything of mine would swallow you. Andy Miller says, I'll have to do some more digging and get with you, Danny. I'll be in the market again. I've gotten too fat for mine. It's a ratio of breathability and water repellent. And listen, I got to get some more fishing waders, because any of you guys ever watched some of that Real American Road Trip and I had them waders on? Listen, thank God there wasn't a button on the front, because I'd have killed somebody, because I was in those things tight, right? But John G, yeah, we do it for you, dude. Your family. If he gained 150 pounds, I'd still have my late partner's spare rain suit in my boat. John G, start eating, dude, and make it easier. We got a lot of fat boys that we can help you out. Captain Morgan says they rate them on millimeter of water per a certain amount of time. I looked it up. Was curious. I was going to look it up as soon as we got off. He said here, for fishing rain gear, a waterproof rating of 10,000 millimeters, I assume, or higher, is good for general conditions, while 20,000 to 30,000 or higher is recommended for heavy rain or extreme conditions. Let me do my little TikTok puzzle piece there. Get back to work there, Charlie. Appreciate you, buddy. You talking about the Madison River videos, Danny? Yeah, that's one of them. But also, too, the one that I went up to Helen, and then Tad Murdoch had me climbing up that hill, and you can hear me about to have a heart attack going up that hill. Listen, we were in Montana when they no, not Montana. Where were we at? We were in somewhere that I need them, and they bought me a set. The TV show did, but I got the one pair that they had, and so it was either get them on and be able to film, or not film. So I got them on, and I still got them. And if I would just lose some weight, they'd be fine. See you, Tracy. And Andy is right. Then you got to factor in breathability somehow. Listen, it's a little tougher on us fat boys, right? All right, so anyway, hey, listen, we went an hour, and we're going to be back tonight. So again, tonight's episode, again, it's a Halloween episode, so we're going to talk fishing. Don't trust me. We will always talk fishing. We'll talk about the current bite and everything. But it being Halloween, we're gonna yeah, those rocks did whip me. Thanks, Messick, for reminding me. Yeah, they did. But I wouldn't trade that. Listen, I wouldn't trade that for anything. That was awesome. Michigan was awesome. But we're going to dress up. We're going to talk about, and there'll be some ghost stories, some things that close calls that happened to you on a boat. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about when it comes to that. Like I said, it may fall into conspiracy theory. Who knows? It's just going to be a fun holiday show. And then Thursday, I think that crew, my Thursday night crew, they want to dress up too. They don't want to be left out. I think we will watch it for our 3-year anniversary instead of dinner. Coleman, if things go south, don't blame it on me. That's all I'm going to say. But congratulations on 3 years. Congratulations on that. But join us tonight at 8. It's going to be a good time. We'll see what Clint, Dave, Alex, like I said, I don't know what their costumes are. I have no idea and will not know till right before the show. But you guys join us. We'll have fun. We'll talk fishing and all that. Have a good time. Yeah, we'll tell some spooky stories tonight. Might talk about my dating life. I don't know. It's spooky too. So anyway, you guys be good. Now, Doc Holliday, listen, I need the view. He's already been with her for 3 years. What's another night? She ain't going nowhere. They're getting married in December. I'm going to be there. Oh, you're talking about the one in Montana. Yeah, that was Montana. I didn't have, those rocks killed me. Steven Sturgeon, have never fished a charity tournament. Is it expected to donate some or all the winnings to the cause? Here's one good thing I will tell you this. I've seen it done both ways. I've seen it where it goes like this. If it is for a person, Steve, this is the way I do it. If I am doing it for a person or a family that needs money, and I win $2,000 first place prize, I'm giving them the money. If it's for a charity that's like more for an organization, something like that, that's not as personal, then I think it's totally acceptable to keep your money. Then there are some that will keep out their entry fee and maybe a little for the gas, and they'll give some. It just depends on what you're led to do. I give money. The coolest thing I ever seen was when we did Beasley's tournament, and every single person that got a check won and gave it back to Beasley's family. But here's how you do this. If you ever throw one of these, you got to tug on people's hearts. You start off with announcing the guy in 8th place who gets the lowest check or whatever, and he wins $100 and he gives it to him. Then you go to the 7th place guy, and he's going to give it to him because the 8th place guy did. And by the time you get up to the first one, he's like, for the most part, they'll give it. They don't want to walk away and be that guy, right? But that's generally the way it is. I make that judgment depending on the circumstance of the charity tournament. That's it. So, like, if we were to win, I think Tony would tell you, if we were to win Saturday, we ain't keeping no money. That's the way it works. So you guys, hey, have a good rest of your day. We're going to see you guys at 8 o'clock tonight. Come have some fun with us tonight. Don't work too hard. Stay safe. We hope to see you tonight. And again, go look through your stuff. 33-inch waist, 6'1", John G. Let's get him set up. You guys be good.